Welcome back to a special edition. 100 subscribers. Cheers to that.
Cheers. I'm going to get my tequila bet on.
Right there we go. Of
right
the
Aquagon.
You know, the only show bringing you as high as level. The only thing that's higher than the level of betting that we do is going to be Dave's BAC level. That's the blood alcohol level because he owes not one, but 2 tequila shots today.
Let me ask you this. If you got a guy that's nickname is T-City and he locks up a triangle choke, you think I'm doing this shot? Well, guess what? I am.
Just the way the cookie crumbles. Just the way. And I'm going to let him off the hook. We did do one for having 100 subscribers. We're actually at 105 time of taping, so we appreciate all of you. Please like, subscribe if you're watching the show. Cost you nothing to do, and if anything, it actually puts money in your wallet if you go with our bets. I was about 75% last week, which 75% of something's better than 100% of nothing. I will say this. Landed the Volkanovski, Curtis Blades, which were the 2 that the tequila bet. And a bevy of other fights.
You had Lawler.
Oh, God, but that one was easy.
You had the Tarantula.
The Tarantula, that's right, Jaden. Couple of good fights. Overall, what a card.
It was a great night.
I mean, my goodness, the UFC is continuing to deliver. Hasn't been a whole lot of stinkers in the last year and a half as the fight game continues to grow, so we appreciate that. But I digress on that point because just kind of to give you a little rundown, as always, we don't go through the whole card. We give you what we think to be locks, what we are going to be putting our actual money on. You'd have to be foolish to just bet every fucking fight or degenerate. No, yeah, listen, a couple more of these. You maybe, sprinkle a couple of units on each fight as you watch them come out, looking for the horse that shits, as we call it. But overall, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to get right into it today. You took your shot, right?
Shots down.
Beautiful. The first fight, and one of the fights I did not call, and I think it was the only one I didn't call, was a female fight last week, and I want my loincloth back. I want to be the pontiff of female prognostics in the UFC. And we're going to get right into it. So we have Shanna Young versus Stephanie Edgar. So I want to offer a couple of things to you on this one. This is your classic striker versus grappler matchup. Now, if you got in on this one before this show, you actually got Edgar at plus money. She has now moved to negative 125, and you're getting Shanna Young at plus 105. It's signed Vegas. When the line moves that much, there's usually a reason, whether it be sharp money, action on both sides, but sharp money usually indicates that there's a play here. And I'm going to tell you the play. This is the grappler versus striker in women's MMA. I want you to walk that one through. Let's walk it backwards one more time. Women's MMA. The knockout power just simply isn't there unless you're Amanda Nunes.
Right.
It's not there like it is in men's MMA. The grappling discrepancy here between these two is heavy. And I still even think with the line moving the way that it has, you got to go with. Now, might not be an exciting fight, but I can see Edgar getting her down to the ground and just keeping her there for 3 rounds. Outscoring her. You might see an exchange or 2 on the top. And I don't know that she's, definitely, she's no slouch. I'm not going to say that she's a world beater on the feet. But at the end of the day, you have the takedown.
Right.
You have the path to victory. It's clear. And I think if you look at the levels on the feet, it's about here. You look at the levels on the ground, it's about here.
Ooh.
I don't know if you have a different play on this.
No, I like this one. Our girl Shan, she's been off for about 1 year and 7 months. And I think this is a good one for our fans. I know there are a bunch of cheapskates out there that want to hit early. So this is early in the card. You get a little Stephanie Edgar action. You get a fuck the shit out of her on the mat. And then you got money in your bank account for the rest of this card. And I know we're going to be putting a lot of bets out today. So
yeah, and again, you bring up a good point. Shayna's been out for a minute. And Edgar did lose her last fight. However, she did win the previous 3 before that. So it's not like she's just some slouch out there. So I want to put this down as a lock. I really wanted to give it. I wish we would, if we would have taped this earlier, I could have said it was the underdog lock, but it's just simply not. But the line, I think, is still off.
Well, you're on the sharp side. The money's moving your way. I think we like that one.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're hoping for a knockout punch from, someone that hasn't fought in a while in a female division. I don't see that happening. So we're going to go ahead and continue to move along. I think this was one you wanted to discuss.
Yeah, I got, this is my Jamie Mullarkey versus Devonte Smith. Devonte last fight, he got hit a lot by Janice. And, those shots, if he gets hit like that from Jamie, I don't think he's going to be able to stand. This guy's got he's got fast hands, he's got a lot of power. But, man, I like this underdog pick with Jamie Mullarkey here. I feel like he got robbed his last loss against and he should be on a 2-win winning streak coming into this fight right now. So I'm going to take the slight underdog. You got him at plus 135. I like the tenacity, the stand-up, and, a little bit of mixed in with the grappling with Jamie Mullarkey here.
Mullarkey does have to get this one to the ground, though. I mean, if you've seen Devonte Smith, the man's hands are smooth and accurate and quick. There's definitely on the feet going to be a speed disadvantage here. Mm-hmm. But again, I do like the angle. I mean, it's always good. If you're going to go with an underdog, I always, like a rule of thumb, just a side note, go with a grappler. Mm-hmm. Go with a grappling advantage. There's always, you see it all the time in the UFC, especially lower on the cards, where someone just takes you down and it's just a bad night. And then by the third round, you're scrambling. You might get a couple of shots, but it's just too little too late. But if he decides to go in there and stand with Devonte Smith, it's going to be a rough night betting if you're on the other end of that one. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, for me right now, I haven't placed a bet on it, but I don't hate the pick.
Yeah.
But,
I think there's some good underdog value in Jamie. I mean, he's the underdog for a reason, but we like to sniff out a little bit of value here for you. So if we can hit a few underdogs, we should be good to go.
Man, I'm just thinking of some tape on Devonte Smith. This might be a very good opportunity for a tequila bet.
Ooh, you want to do
Which honestly, if you look at our previous shows, the tequila bets have definitely gone my way. Old Dave's BAC level just continues to rise, and I think next show we'll make sure that comes to fruition yet again. But
putting that one in as the tequila?
Yeah,
I got Jamie.
You heard it, and I'll make him take that one too. He still owes one, so maybe we'll offset it. I don't know what we're going to do about it yet. I haven't decided. All right, let's go ahead and move on down here. So I think it's worth noting. I want to talk about another female fight here. Well, do you want to go to Aspen Ladd first?
Yeah,
you had an angle on that one. You actually wanted to do this one previously.
Yeah, I actually had brought it up in a previous Aquagon. I went back to the archives. We were actually in the tub back then. And I was real big on both the Macy's. Now, it was Macy Barber and Macy Shayna. And if you remember, Macy Barber did get that controversial decision. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to stick with my girl Macy against Aspen Ladd. Now, Aspen Ladd's a tough girl. She comes at you. The last win that she had is that meme where her corner told her, go out there third round and you have to get the finish. You have to get the finish. And something snapped in her and she went out there and got the finish. But you know what? That was about, I don't know, almost 2 years ago now. So she's got to be coming off a 1 year and 9 months layoff. And our girl Macy, man, she is just ferocious. I mean, she looks like she could be a member, maybe one of the male Vikings in the cast of Vikings, the TV show. I mean, she looks like a savage out there.
Good head of lettuce.
Oh, good head of lettuce. I like that little hairdo she's got going. I mean, she's coming at people. She's trying to finish them the whole time. She's lanky. She's awkward. She's flexible. She's hard to submit. Everything about her I like. I think this is really her coming out party. And at 5'11" and about almost 6 inches of reach advantage over Aspen Ladd, I don't see how she loses this one. This is my underdog and woman fight of the night for me.
I love the pick, and I think I am going to bet this one, and I want to give you another. When you look at their last 5, they've both won 4 out of their last 5. Now, think about the chalk you have to lay if you're going with Aspen Ladd. You're laying negative 240 versus plus 195.
It's insane.
I just don't think this is a 7 out of 10 for Aspen Ladd or 8 out of 10 for Aspen Ladd. Does she maybe get it done on this night? Who knows? That's why they got to go in there and fucking fight the fights. But for me, the chalk you're laying and the way it just seems to be a good matchup. You know what I mean? Like, would I give the edge if I was one of the people putting the lines on this thing for Mr. DraftKings? Sure. Maybe I would probably lean Aspen Ladd, but I would not put her this much of a spread, negative 240 versus plus 195. It just doesn't seem, it seems like it's worth the risk to me.
Yeah, all the values on Macy here. We got a fun fight either way. I've been loving these women fights lately. They've been really going at it. So.
The women, we'll see who gets the loincloth here. That's your lock. I gave you mine. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens. Now, I want to go backwards here in the card. This is a no bet. I want to make sure I say this one more time. This is a no bet for me. I think Vegas has finally figured this out. We have not the one we just saw, This is the Cooper Manning of the family. Okay, that's the brother that didn't play in the NFL. Antonina Shevchenko versus Casey O'Neill. To me, the line is right now. She's not riding the sister's name. You got her at plus 180 versus negative 220. I would definitely lean Casey O'Neill, but you are laying the chalk on this one. I think Vegas has kind of separated that and got the line right. If you want to take a gamble, if anything, if there is a play on Shevchenko, it's putting her in your DraftKings account for a finish, potentially. Again, female fight, so I don't know. But that would you could probably get a good price on her there, but that would be the only play I would be doing on this one. I would just stay away. Unless you got a different read than me, which, by the way, feel free to put that in the comments. We would love to read the comments.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of good comments lately.
Yeah.
The only thing I like about Shevchenko is her sister must have had a great camp because she was looking good. She looked good on the scale. Obviously she put a whipping on a 38-year-old woman, but that's the only thing I can have is she's training with her sister the whole time when she's getting ready for a championship fight the next week. She goes and makes weight and gets out there. Maybe a little bit of it rubs off on her, but yeah, you're completely right. She's the not the dark horse in the family.
Casey O'Neill has won her last 5. She's on a hot
streak. She's 7-0, yeah.
What I would be hoping for when I see this is a closer line. Where you don't have to lay as much chalk on Casey O'Neill. Mm-hmm. That would be the play, but I think Vegas has this one dead to rights. Whoever wins, I'm not going to feel bad about it. It's just a no bet for me. So
that's fair.
But good stuff there. I like that. So we're going to move on, I believe, to the main card. So we were talking pre-show. Mm-hmm. We think this is an absolute lock. Okay. Yeah. Now, Alex Oliveira, literally, he is the whipping boy right now of the UFC. He's flashy. The fans like watching him, but there's just no salt left in the shaker right now.
Yeah, the Brazilian Cowboy's about done, I think.
Yeah, and he's starting to get chinny, and he's taking on Niko Price. Niko Price is tougher than a $2 Ponderosa steak, my friends. Make no mistake about it. This guy is the volume he puts out. He's always trying to get you. He can get you from anywhere. I think it's going to be an exciting fight, but Oliveira doesn't have the power anymore. I don't know that he has the flash anymore. I think he has enough to keep things interesting, but he's always on the losing end. It just seems like, he can get some flashy move in there. He'll hit you with that good shot, but there's just not enough oomph behind it.
Right.
To even score any clout with the judges. And real talk, if anything, he's been doing nothing but losing. Mm-hmm. He's lost 3 out of his last 5. Mm-hmm. And he's taking a step up in competition, in my opinion. Niko Price beats Mike Perry. Okay? Niko, what were some of his other losses?
He just lost, this guy, Michel Pereira, is one of the top guys in the division. He's really up and comer. And then we got Vicente Luque.
Yeah.
So, 2 top-level guys.
And if you look at the previous tape, now I remember the Pereira one. We gave you that fight. We said, listen, if Pereira isn't in there backflipping like a motherfucker, which he did end up fucking doing stupid shit like he always does, mm-hmm. but he looks like the gas tank kind of gathered him on again a little too late. But Pereira is an absolute maniac. Mm-hmm. If he can just focus on fighting, that guy's unbeatable. Mm-hmm. And Niko just ran into it. But again, Niko, another thing about him, the guy ages like a fine wine in there. Yeah. He gets stronger as the fight progresses. This is a terrible matchup for Oliveira, and I think it might be either his retirement party or his Bellator. Congratulations. One of the 2 things are going to happen.
Can you give me an updated line on this one? Do you have that up?
Yeah, so we have Niko Price at negative 155, Oliveira at 135, and I'm pretty sure Niko opened up. What did he open up at?
Minus 140.
Minus 140. So it is moving in the direction away, towards Niko Price, but I still think it's off. I think Niko Price damn near wins this thing 9 out of 10 times. This is a lock for me. This might be a 3 to 5 unit bet for me, honestly.
Yeah, and if you were paying attention to our socials last week, after the weigh-ins, we went all in on Jessica Andrade, and this is the same kind of fight as last week. I bet every penny I had in betting accounts on Jessica Andrade, and at time of fight tomorrow, every penny I have available on my betting accounts is going to be on Niko Price.
Exactly. There's not an angle. Real talk. I feel legit put myself on the limb here. Unless he just lands some spectacular heel kick right to the dome. Mm-hmm. There is not an angle Oliveira wins this fight. And by the way, Niko is sturdy. Like I just said, he's tough. This is a lock. If you're watching the show, Take your MyBookie app out. Take your DraftKings app out. I don't give a shit what you're using. Place it on Niko. Take your mortgage out. Peel off your 401k. I'm just kidding about that. Don't actually do that. And if you got a different angle, put it in the comments. There's no such thing as a bad comment. Honestly, we love that.
I'll roast it.
We have 100 subscribers, so now we can say shit. You know what I mean?
Dude, we got some comment-happy mother suckers, too. I love it.
Baby. All right, are we to Kevin Holland versus Kyle Daukaus? We might be on the opposite end here. I want your take first.
I'm still up in the air on this one. There's a lot of stuff going on. We got the big mouth, Kevin Holland. You know, he blows everyone's mind, knocks everyone's hair back with knocking out Jacare Souza from his back. Then he comes on a little hard times when he comes against a couple of wrestlers, old school collegiate style wrestlers that put you on your back with a power double. Now, the two guys he lost to, Derek Brunson and Vettori, are the previous title contender and the upcoming title contender. So Kyle Daukaus is going to be a step down in competition for him. Do you think Kyle Daukaus has what it takes to put Kevin Holland on his back? And has Kevin Holland done anything to remedy the situation of people putting him on his back and keeping him there? That's the question for me right now.
Here's what I'll tell you. And feel free to join me in my church pew as I speak. Kevin Holland has been fighting. He hasn't just been fighting a collection of homeless people at the top. Okay. Daukaus, I get the wrestling angle. There's a grappling angle here. There's no doubt about it. But it's not the level that Holland's already been fighting. Now let's think about a couple of things. It's important to note that Holland is a black belt. So when he's on the ground, he's not completely clueless. He just has shitty takedown defense. The second thing, he's young enough to have figured this out. At the end of the day, he has to understand that when people exchange with you, you're very tough to beat. And I'm going to get to that in a second. My hope is that he has figured that out. I think he's a step down in competition. He's kind of that in-betweener guy where if he goes too low in competition, they can't compete with him. When he goes up, you want to sit at the big kid table, he can't sit there yet. And I think he understands you can't sit at the big kid table in the division until you figure out how to get some takedown defense. I think the athleticism is there. If he's training it like he should and game planning it and taking it seriously, I think we're going to see good takedown defense. You see people progress in their career in that. They understand, listen, I need to keep this fight standing. I have to train to defend the takedown. I have to keep moving on the bottom. He's capable of doing it. In fact, it's not even that he has a bad gas tank. He stays in there with people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And every time, now let's get to the exchanges. When you exchange with Kevin Holland, there is not a lot of fighters. Maybe Stylebender. I'm not going to go off on a list here right now off the top of the head, but there's not a lot of fighters in the UFC that can exchange with accuracy like he does, right, and as hard and as quick as he does. When you're in the octagon with him, you are at an extreme speed disadvantage. I don't care who you are, unless you're Stylebender. Real talk. Yeah. And it seems like even in these grappling exchanges, maybe not so much his last fight, but definitely in the Brunson fight, they exchanged and he clipped him a couple of times. The thing was, Brunson's just so good at taking you down and keeping you there. And let's think about this for a second. Those fights are all aging very well. They're all fighting for the title. You know what I mean? Like Brunson's probably next up. At least he should be. And I think this is a step down. It's not going to be Brunson. Even if he gets him down, I see Holland getting back up. I see Holland wearing him out. And when he has to stay on the feet, or he's young enough, the guy Daukaus, to maybe make the mistake of sitting there and exchanging in these firefights with him. And when you do that, you're landing a knockout. This one right here, again, it's a great parlay piece. It's a great DraftKings piece. And it's a great just straight up bet piece to me.
All right. Well, I'm so undecided. I got a little bit more digging I want to do on this. We will be putting on a show Friday night. So tune into the one, like and subscribe now, and tune in on Friday. I'll have my final pick on this one on Friday night.
All right. So we're undishaded. I'm not going to get a tequila bet out of him on this one.
Unfortunately. Ooh, we got the main dish here.
Ooh.
What are we thinking on?
Order.
Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker.
This one is interesting. For me, I've said this before. Sometimes there's a fight that even at the time of taping, I don't know who the hell I'm going to pick. I'm going to offer somebody. If it's a main event, you're going to get a pick from me. Just have to. We're doing a fucking show here. We have, we can't just leave the main event out. It's difficult for a couple of reasons. you think the obvious. Santos fighting the better competition. Winner of his last two. I want to speak to those last two, though. And I want your opinion. He hasn't it seems like he's done enough not to lose rather than win. It just doesn't seem like he's went out there and got it. Now, if you want to put some stock into his losses, it's top of the division, top of the top. But I'm not necessarily sold on him. And then you go on the other side, Johnny Walker. I think all the intangibles, all the athleticism. He can land a lights-out shot, kiss of death in his fists, and his legs for that matter. But at this level, is it too high? Can he land it? Because really, that's what you're hoping for. Like, my mind is going to this place, Dave. If I'm going to bet Walker, I feel like I just need to bet Walker inside the distance. Right. Do you see him out pointing him? Because one thing Santos has shown me is he has an ability to score the clout with the judges and go the distance.
Right.
Now, 5 rounds, I don't know who I trust. I'm going to get your take here for a second.
Okay, so like you said, I didn't really know going into this who I was going to pick. I did a little bit of soul searching here while you were talking, and I came up with, our boy Thiago Santos, his last win is against the current champ, Jan Blachowicz, and then it went downhill. John Jones, I mean, who doesn't lose to John Jones?
Everybody's lost to
John
Jones.
You got Glover Teixeira making his comeback, making his title run. You got Rakic, who's on his way to a title fight. But you know what? All these fights have taken little pieces out of Santos. And at 37 years old, damn near 38, coming into the cage this weekend, my boy Johnny Walker, he's had time. I know he did the worm. He blew his shoulder out. He's had time to come back from that injury now. He had a couple losses after that, got right back on his feet and beat up on Span. I think everything's pointing to Johnny Walker, a re-coming out party, if you will. This is a young guy that's going to be a title contender, that's going to be making this run towards the championship, and this is the time where everything needs to line up for him to do it right now. This is the point of his career that needs to happen. So I got Johnny Walker with the whole weight of the world on his shoulders, coming out and put on a big performance against Thiago Santos. Santos is going to just be too old, too much taken out of him in the last few fights. Johnny Walker, I got him at plus 145.
Yeah, I mean, and when you look, and again, if you think about his last Santos's, I'm going to circle back to this comment. He didn't look like the vintage Santos. He looks like a fighter on the digress. Walker still, to your point, has potential to be a fighter that's, ascending. And it's important to go over the line here too. So we have Santos coming in at negative 165. So you're laying a decent amount of chalk actually for Santos versus Johnny Walker at plus 145. I think at this moment in time, and you look at the last couple of fights, I just think Johnny Walker has the bigger upside. He's at the position, to your point, to go on his run. I don't know that Santos's knees are the same. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just think that with injuries, you got to understand, this sport, it beats on your body. You know what I mean? Like, even me wrestling in high school, I still feel like I have a bad back just from that. These guys have been doing that, plus, fighting at the top level for years. It beats up on you. And there comes a point, it just happens. I mean, I don't even blame the people. Make a cheddar, boo. But, where you're just cashing checks, you're doing what you need to do to stay alive in the sport. I get it's not easy. Hell, I couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. But I think Johnny Walker all the day. Yeah. And I'm really thinking about sprinkling a little on Johnny Walker inside the distance.
Yeah, that's a good bet. I think he's going out there for something flashy. He always is doing flashy shit. Let's keep the worm to a minimum. Let's keep those shoulders feeling good after the fight. I want this guy to stay healthy.
Yeah, I just think Santos isn't going to be able to just take him down and hold him down and ride him like he's been accustomed to doing. Seems like all the attributes he has, he's not really utilizing it. And the thing that Santos used to do so good that I just haven't seen is that ground and pound. That was definitely missing in his last. I mean, he was getting booed. You wouldn't have booed this guy 2 years ago. No. This guy was, that fucking hammer he has?
Right.
That was right here. I mean, it was like his move. He just boom, boom. And it was like the most menacing ground and pound you've ever seen. Doesn't do it anymore. Not to that level, at least. And I don't think Johnny Walker's just going to lay there and take it. So I think we're both on Johnny Walker on this one. So you heard it here first. Underdog, plus 145. Remember that one.
Love it.
So that's all we have for this show. If you ever get a chance, though, watch the shorts. I haven't really dabbled in that much. I'm considering doing a little more of a deep dive. But my man Dave here, he's been putting them out. I think you went 5 for 5 last week on the Contender Series.
Last 2 weeks, 4 for 5.
So we offer you that. We're going to keep sprinkling things out as the weeks progress, giving you more content. We will be back in the hot tub. You probably still wonder, why are we wearing these shirts? Why is it called the Aquagon? Don't worry about all that. It's all going to come to fruition. Thank you. Like and subscribe.